Dear learners, let's start the second lecture of our module 4 related with the course The Art and Science of Marketing from Basics to Breakthrough. In module 4 we started to understand the STP strategy, and in the first lecture we covered what we mean by segmentation, what exactly the importance of segmentation, the process and some of the requisites of segmentation. Now let's move to the very crucial component of segmentation in terms of understanding the basis of segmentation. I, Dr. Asutosh Mohan, Associate Professor at Faculty of Management Studies, Banaras Hindu University, would like to welcome you all for the session 2 of module 4. So what are going to be our session objective? As usual, we try to divide the session objective into 3 components. The first component talks about defining the different segmentation bases possible in marketing. The second component talks about differentiating between the different segmentation bases, say demography, geography, psychography and behavioral. And finally, we try to understand the real world brand examples to apply these different segmentation bases to understand in a practical way through application orientation. So before starting the basis or dealing with the different bases of segmentation, let's take one example to set the objective of the session. The boutique bakery twist. What exactly this is? In fact, 2 bakeries open in the same town at same time. One sell very standard kind of cake to all, whereas the other bakery tailor the offering as per the consumers. They are selling the protein brownies for gym goers, vegan cakes, cupcakes for millennials and themed cake for kids. Lots of design, lots of funny design, lots of cartoon characters on the cake, and for the teenager girl lots of K-pop elements on the different cakes. So what's the learning? The second bakery is getting the success, whereas the first one is not in the same line. So understanding customer segment allows the organization to precise or to make offerings more precise as per the requirement of the market. That's what the second bakery did. Catching the teenager girls' tendency to have a liking for K-pop, they try to include the different elements of the K-pop group in the cake design. It's possible and they are providing. Now what might be the basis of market segmentation? There are 4 possible bases of market segmentation. The first is demography, second one is psychography, then we have the geography, and finally we may have the behavioral segmentation. Let us take one by one each and every base of segmentation to understand in detail. So first base of segmentation is demography. Now in demography, as we already covered in our macro environmental factors, you remember the module 3 where we talked about the macro and micro environment. So demography talks about the characteristic of population. So if I talk about the characteristic of population, it is talking in terms of the age component of population. So you may have a product which is categorically based on the different age groups. It's possible. We may have the different energy drinks, that is for infants, that is for adolescents, that is for teenagers, that is for the young professional, and we may have a energy drink that is for mature or adult population. So based on age we can categorize. We may have the product based on gender. Think about the perfumes, think about the apparels, think about any other product related with your beauty segment. We may have a different kind of product specifically targeted to one specific gender until unless it's a unisex kind of product. It's possible. So based on gender we can differentiate. Based on income, that is quite common. We have the differentiation, we have the possibilities where the niche segment products are for rich class, maybe the individual segment or individual S segment is also related with the same class, and that is possible through this income distribution to have a different kind of products available at the marketplace. Then we have the education. Education is also a very crucial factor to decide what kind of product this group might go for, what kind of product this group might not go for. So based on education we may have the category of products available, and accordingly the organizations are trying to lure the different groups present at the population or in the population based on the education differentiable enough. Religion, that's religion is again one of the factor which decides what kind of product likings are possible. Not only religion, we may have caste, creed, race, that is also deciding the different kind of product preferences, and organizations are recognizing the importance of the same. Finally, if we talk about under the demography, even the socio-economic status, it's also providing a very crucial input to the marketer to decide what kind of product, what kind of service this social group may have, this social group may not have. It's possible, and this is what the beauty of demographic segmentation is. Now come to the geographic segmentation. In case of geography, by name it's very much clear what we mean by the geographical segmentation. Is it so? Don't you think so? So geography means the countries. You may find certain products are good in certain countries, certain products are not good in certain countries. It's possible. It's possible in terms of cities, maybe division of rural, semi-urban and urban population. That's again a case of geography, that's again a case of demography also, where you are talking the metro city customer may have this kind of preference, the tier 1 city, tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities or semi-urban cities are having this kind of preference. It's possible. It may be in terms of villages, that's already mentioned. It may be in terms of population density which guides the different kind of product requirement. Just try to see the type of furnitures available, the type of accessories available in Mumbai might not be available in any other part of the country, because Mumbai is such a congested city in some particular manner where the modular nature of furnitures are more popular. That's happening, and that's a differential factor. Similarly, urban, rural, the climate, the weather, all those particular factors are creating lot of changes in the requirement of the product altogether. For example, the lubricant manufacturers used to add certain additives in the product based on the geographical condition, that based on the climatic condition. In cold countries they add certain additives so that engine remains functional even in a very severe cold conditions, which is not added in tropical countries. So climate is also playing a crucial role to decide the offerings at the marketplace. Now come to psychographic segmentation. Why psychography? First we need to understand, don't you think the geography, the demography is good enough to predict what kind of market offerings we have to go for, what kind of things we can develop for different groups? Take an example. Suppose a cafe owner want to segment the market. So, based on the demography, the cafe owner may decide the coffee lovers are having a certain kind of demographic characteristic. Possible? So, he identified the coffee lover need to be an adult person, say above age of 15, 18, something like this. The coffee lover should have a little bit of more income or disposable income with a certain level of education necessary to go for any coffee cafe, and accordingly they identified a level of education, level of income, maybe the profession, maybe the set of age, and accordingly they identified a segment. Now, based on geography, they identified coffee lovers are usually located in urban area rather than in rural area, where people love to go to the coffee, to have coffee in a cafe with these kind of demographic profile. But just imagine, with this demographic profile of 21 years or 18 years to 45 years, with graduation minimum, with a kind of income, with a resident in an urban area, necessarily go to the coffee cafe all the time? Not necessarily. It's a very big chunk. So, certain other explanation, the certain other parameters are also required to be. So, what it might be? That is what the psychography is. Psychography talks about the lifestyle. Psychography talks about the social status, it talks about the attitude, it talks about the activities, interests, opinions, and the personality. So, the young adult with certain income, with a certain level of education, residing in urban area, have an attitude to enjoy and relax at cafe, loves the coffee cafes, and it's a part of lifestyle to spend some quality times in coffee cafes. That is what defines the entire segment in totality. So, it's a combination. It's basically giving you an idea what kind of preferences, what kind of psychological makeup an individual need to have to opt for certain kind of product and don't opt for certain other kind of products. This is what psychographic segmentation base is, and it's very crucial nowadays because our preferences are getting very clear. The consumers are more and more knowledgeable. We have opinion for everything available at the marketplace. We have a kind of attitude and motivation. We have certain kind of lifestyle which we are following, and we are also having a kind of social status linked with our personality, and everything works wonderfully if we try to identify the segmentation. Next level or the last level of segmentation is behavioral segmentation. Now, what is behavioral segmentation? Behavioral segmentation means purchasing behavior. Obviously, what we are concerned about, we are not very much concerned about our personal behavior. May not be very much interesting for marketers to understand. Maybe giving certain kind of input, but marketers' major concern is your purchasing behavior. What is the occasion? What is the time? What is the uses? What are the benefits? What are the progression? What are the loyalty status? All these are part and parcel of behavioral segmentation. So, purchasing behavior, whether you are a very casual kind of purchaser, whether you are a very curious kind of purchaser, whether you are a very careful and serious kind of purchaser, where you are evaluating each and every dimension before making purchase, Just see and observe the people's behavior in any particular hyper stores, hypermarket, any retail store, organized retail store. You may find certain people are simply picking and dropping the material in their shopping cart without bothering the price or the content or the ingredient. Certain people are simply having a list and accordingly they are dumping the items in their shopping cart, somehow more organized. But you may find the certain individuals are reading each and every bits and pieces of information printed, at least the crucial information in terms of the price, in terms of the manufacturing and the expiry, in terms of the ingredient if it is a food item or any kind of creams and powders or whatever the cosmetics are there, they are just simply reading even the ingredient. Don't you think based on this purchasing behavior marketers need to devise the different kind of strategies? That is one of the segmentation based on behavior. Occasion and time based. You may be finding near to the Deepavali, the advertisement of paint companies are having more and more exposures. We are finding more and more advertisements related with the paint company. That's related with one of our ritual where there is supposed to be cleaning of house before this festival and many people used to go for painting of house. So this is occasion, this is one kind of time on which the people are purchasing a certain kind of product and that is one of the target segment. And the paint companies are doing it very wonderfully. We may have different other seasonal products which are flashed, which are communicated, which are strategized by the marketer as per the time requirement. That's possible. What about the uses based? What kind of uses you are going for? How frequently you are using the product? What kind of users, whether you are a heavy user, the light user, the medium user, that is also defining the base. For heavy users, your approach to target the customer is different. For light user, your approach might be different. That's possible. That is why just think about our cooking oil. We have a different sizes of packets available for cooking oil. So it may be available for a pouch to a big can of 20, 10 or 5 liters. It depends on the usage, it depends on the frequency of usage, the type of usage, and accordingly we can categorize the customers. Benefits out. What kind of benefits you are looking for? That's a crucial element. Now whenever we talk about the benefits we are looking for and accordingly deciding the behavioral segmentation base, the same product may serve two different benefits. It's possible. Can you quote any example? Difficult, but it's possible. The same cleansing product, for suppose a product is going to clean certain surface in a very beautiful manner, but same product may be used to clean another kind of surface and there it's also serving the same, also serving it beautifully. So based on the benefit shout, we may have different segment. Take the example of soups. Leave this cleansing product. Now soup or instant soup, soup is traditionally considered to be an appetizer. But now the soup manufacturer or instant soup powder providers, the manufacturers, they are talking about it's not only the appetizer which you need to deal with, it can also serve a full-fledged meal option to satisfy, not to say meal, but to satisfy a small hunger of your child with certain nutritional value. So what kind of benefit you are looking for? So if a mother is serving soup with a nutritional benefit at evening to her child, one use. The same mother is serving the soup to the guest in the house before the dinner or lunch, that is serving the different purpose, and accordingly you can segment these two market differently. Customer progression, whether it's a first time customer, whether it's a regular customer, whether it's a sporadic customer, that is also creating lot of difference to understand, and accordingly the companies are making the policies to differentiate the different offerings to different types of customers based on their customer progression. That's what we need to understand, the journey of customer. And the last one is the loyalty. Now in case of loyalty, I want to make you understand one very beautiful pattern of loyalty. Say if a customer is always opting, always having this kind of preference. If a customer is having a preference like this, possible. If a customer is having preference like this, possible. And if a customer is having preference like this, it's also possible. Now what kind of loyalty we are exhibiting here? This customer can be considered as a hardcore loyal. Every time whatsoever the condition, this customer will always pick the brand A. What about this customer? What about this customer? What about this customer? What about this customer? This customer is actually a split loyal. Why split loyal? Because certain amount of loyalty towards brand A, then B, then exhibiting again A, then B, or maybe one or two more brand, and this customer is going between or among 2-3 brands every time. So loyalty is little bit split between 1 or 2. It's not hardcore loyal. Possible. What about this one? This is shifting loyalty. From A shifted to B for certain duration, now shifting to C. This is also possible. This kind of loyalty is also possible, where you show a very clear cut liking for a certain brand, then you shift it for another brand, then you shift it to the third brand. You keep on shifting your loyalty as per your changing preference or the changing offerings by the marketer. This loyalty is also possible. What about this one? Can we say this kind of customer as a loyal customer? It's a big question. There is no loyalty. The preference is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H up to 26 alphabets. It's possible. It means there is no loyalty at all. That is why they are called switchers. So wherever there is any good offer, wherever there is any opportunity to encash, they will simply jump on that and not bothering a single time whether I opted A, B, C, whatever the good one at that point of time, they will simply jump on that. So there is no loyalties. That is why they are switchers. Now don't you think based on these 4 kind of loyalty status, the organization can formulate the different kind of strategies? Certain good or goodies are or supposed to be offered by the organization to hardcore loyal. They may create a certain condition to make the split loyal more loyal or convert into hardcore loyal. May try to make the shifting loyal to remain a longer period in your own brand, and if possible just try to work with the switchers also if you are capable enough. So these behavioral segmentation bases are quite possible, and accordingly the companies are enjoying the different possibilities related with different segment bases. Let's take one case study to further understand this phenomena. IKEA, known to every one of us, a Swedish modular furniture manufacturer, not a manufacturer, it's a retailer, a giant in category altogether. What they are targeting in terms of demographic base, they are targeting the young urban renters who keep on shifting their houses. Their main target is young urban renters. Based on the geography, they are localized stores in metro city, big stores, maybe outskirt of city, and maybe you have to take the electric vehicle to move inside the store altogether, such a big size. Psychography, they are basically targeting the DIY enthusiast customers. DIY matlab, DIY means do it yourself. They are targeting, they are identifying do it yourself kind of customers. What may be the behavioral segmentation? Weekend impulse buyers. They identified in weekends people want to go for certain kind of outing, and when they are going for certain kind of outing, so this retail giant stores are a good space, a good place where you will find even the restaurants, the food items to satisfy your gastronomical requirement. You can spend a big chunk of time to explore the different possibility and have some utility furnitures for you. Decorate your home as per the requirement. So behavioral, segmentation based, weekend impulse buyers who just visit to spend some quality time, have some food, and identify certain element which they never ever planned before they visit, but they purchased. So IKEA utilize all four bases, whether it's a demography, whether it's a geography, whether it's a psychography, whether it's a behavioral, and they catered it beautifully across the globe. Now in summary, what we understand in this lecture 2 of module 4, remember each segmentation base adds depth to understanding. It is adding certain knowledge to understand the consumer behavior. This can be utilized by the brands, and it's not necessary to have one single base to go for. There is no as such mutual exclusivity involved in identifying the basis of segmentation. It may work as per the last example, the combination of bases to work on, and a strong segmentation informs every element of marketing. That is also a fact to understand. So certain reflection as per the tradition of my course. Just imagine, I keep on giving you certain points to think about, certain points to ponder about, to reflect the learning. Just think about the last product you saw advertised to you personally. Did you ever find any product advertised you personally? Quite possible, quite natural on online platform. Now just try to relate it. Which segmentation base might they have used? Why they targeted you? What kind of segment you belong for that product category? Just try to identify your own characteristic and try to trace the segmentation base for that organization which targeted you with personalized message. If you have any further interest, go for Kotler and Keller Marketing Management Chapter 8, where they talked about the segmentation and targeting in details. Thank you so much for giving your time and patience to understand the segmentation in totality. Next lecture we will try to cover the targeting and targeting strategies. Thank you again.